Cool.
It's like a refrigerator in an office over there.
Yeah, the AC gets stuck on, I think.
I think it said 63 degrees when we were talking.
Good.
Good Thanksgiving.
Well, ate too much successfully.
Yeah. No burning of property with deep fried turkeys or?
No.
Good.
I know you like to be the star of the show.
Is you all real loud and pulled out?
If you talk it like gets this close to you.
We've had lots of compliments on it. Thank you very much.
I think it's good.
And audio is much better, and obviously the video as well.
Still need to have the people, especially the county treasurer, to come forward, because you
Yes.
cannot hear her at all.
My voice does not carry.
We have, I'm gonna keep doing it a test run, but they have an external mic that also hooks up to it. Stretch out, so I'm just trying to hear you cord, I don't have cords right there.
Why?
Well, this is a different setup, this is not.
This is very safe.
Yes. OSHA manual learning somewhere.
You just need to string it along.
Go on. Yeah. Tell IT that, they'll be like, you want us to do it.
Have you been down there lately?
Mhm.
He said,
Yeah. Well, I was down there last week.
so Marshall said y'all decided not to do that.
We gotta talk about it again, I think it's changed twice.
They came down there yesterday ready.
Yeah, I know. Well, I told them after Thanksgiving and they took that quite literally.
No, let's just wait. I'll do that other one. Oh, okay.
There she is.
There you go.
Oh,
How are you, man?
Good better.
Recording in progress.
There we go. All right. Nah. Unless.
Just sound.
Yeah. All right, we're here for Hill County Elections Commission's meeting. It's Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025, 1 p.m. in the jury room, first floor of Hill County Courthouse. We do have a quorum present. We'll go ahead and call this commission to order. We do do have open forum. If anybody's here to speak for open forum today? No one? Don't believe we had anybody sign up online. We'll go ahead and move into the agenda items. So the first one is discuss and action on elections equipment proposals. Today we have with us a representative from Knowing. He's going to give us a rundown on this product. As we know, everyone is fully aware that our current voter check-in system is no longer functional. So
Who is that? Did we do anything about
I
that?
don't know if you guys realize.
Tom, you might not have known this. All the rest of us are having one, like pulling a election out of our dairy year, which we did.
And I was sitting there, they're thinking about you.
There you go.
Well, that's we're pretty lack of interest in the election process in our
More
county.
support.
More.
I didn't see no proposal. Anyway.
So if I'll go ahead and let you take it away, sir.
My name's Stephen Vickers. I'm the Texas Elections Director at Knowing. I've been with the company for just over 8 years. Prior to that, I was a Tarrant County Elections Administrator. I was there for 23 years. I started as a temporary employee and worked my way up to the Elections Administrator. So I do come with a little bit of elections experience behind me. I do live in Texas, so your support person is local. It's 57 minutes from my door to your door. So I can be here in a heartbeat to show to do any support with your product, do any trainings, or any needs that you have. I'm going to go ahead and start off with demos with our equipment. This is what we call the TollPad system. This is our desktop version for the Hart InterCivic. It has an iPad, a receipt printer, and then on the back a driver's license stand or tray. When the voter comes in, the election judge is going to either scan a barcode off their driver's license, voter registration certificate, or election ID, or they're going to manually entry off of one of the various other IDs that they have. I do have some sample driver's license, so I'm going to scan the barcode. I'm going to put my driver's license in a tray. It's going to scan the license, and it's going to take me directly to the voter. It's not a 100% match. It looks at first name, last name, and date of birth. So if there's multiple first name, last names, and date of birth, it's going to give you a pick list. If it only finds one, it's going to take you directly into the record. It's going to take you to the voter confirmation screen. This is where your election worker is going to ask and make sure that they have the correct baby Carter, living at the correct address, verify that they have that information correct. From this screen, we can make them a provisional voter if we need to and select one of the options, or we can do the similar name affidavit and have the voter initial here if they have a similar name. If everything else looks good, we have the correct voter, we're going to hit accept. And it's going to bring you to the screen where the voter is going to verify that you do have the correct voter once again. You're going to rotate the screen, the voter is going to sign, we're going to flip it back, we're going to hit done signing, and this is the election confirmation screen. The election worker's got one more choice or chance to verify that they have the correct voter, and on the screen below it, it's going to also give the ballot style that the voter gets. So if the printer's down and we need to go to a manual process, they can write that number down from the screen as well. We also have the L's for interpreter if they need to have an interpreter. If they're a curbside voter, we have the curbside process on the screen, and then any assistance requested, we have that on the screen as well. If everything is good, correct voter, the poll worker is going to initial, and then we're going to hit submit, and it's going to print out a receipt. And then we're going to hand this to the voter. The voter is going to walk over to the ballot table and either switch this for a ballot, or the controller will scan this barcode and bring up their access code for your Hart Heritage system. I do recommend as a best practice to keep this receipt as a record, because it does tell us who's checked in, and that way we have a record of that if the iPad is not syncing for whatever reason. We do offer two models in the iPad. We offer one that connects to Wi-Fi in a building or cellular device that you have, and we also offer cellular iPads that have their own network built into them as well. So it's your choice when you buy it, whichever you prefer. At the top of our screen, we have our wait times. We can tap on that button, and it's going to ask us to print a token. We're going to take this and hand it to the last person in line and ask them to exchange that when they turn it in when they get there. When they get it to the beginning of the line, the judge is going to scan that token, and it's gonna tell us the exact amount of time, and it didn't like it because I just literally scanned it, or printed it. So it's gonna tell us the exact amount of time. So if it's a 30-minute wait, it'll tell us it's a 30-minute wait. That's gonna go into your ePulse system, which you manage back at the office, that you, if somebody calls, you can say, no, don't go to that already voting location, they have an hour wait. Come over here, they only have 5 minutes. So it's a beneficial tool for you in your office. Next to that, we have our little messaging tool. The iPad has a ability to send text messages to the office. So back at your desk, if they need more statement of residence or they're running low with your paper ballots, they can text that to you and get that message so they don't have to call in. We also have the ability to send them messages, and we can send messages to a specific location and just target that one location if we need to, or we can do a broadcast of all the locations. So we have the ability to determine that, and also we have the ability to determine, is it a low important message that's just going to give you a little number above the envelope, or is it important? If it's important, it's going to take over the screen and they have to dismiss it before they can do anything else. So if it's a very important message that you want them to read, you can send it out as an alert and it'll take over their screen. Next to that, we have our printer icon. That just lets us know that we're connected to our printer. We can do a test print, which I recommend doing every morning when you turn on the iPad to make sure that the printer is printing and the paper roll is not jammed up. Next to that, we have our little green cloud with an arrow facing up. That lets us know that this iPad is syncing with the back-end system that we call ePulse. As long as that iPad's syncing, every few minutes it's sending us the voters list that voted, and it's also receiving the voters list from every other location. So if somebody checked in on this iPad, the next location is going to show them checked in as well through that sync process. It's also going to allow us to look at the battery on that iPad, if our printer's connected, if it's plugged into the electrical outlet, all that can be seen from our back-end system. So we can look at our back-end system and see that, hey, this iPad hadn't been plugged in and the battery's getting low. We can call that location and say, hey, please plug in your iPad. Maybe a kid came in with his parents' vote, he unplugged it, playing with it, no one noticed, right? The elections office. Also, the elections office will get an alert if the battery gets to a critical state. And it'll alert the elections office back on the election back-end system as well. We have the ability for these two iPads to talk. You'll notice I have number 1 above the little, sorry for you guys to see, but it's 2 little people with the number 1. It's talking to this iPad. So at the location, the iPads talk back and forth, even if they don't have a Wi-Fi connection, even if they don't have cellular. That way, if you have an iPad that's maybe in a huge gym or something, and you have 2 of them, somebody can't go from line to line. It immediately sends it over to the other, even if they don't have internet connection. So those are our little icons at the top. On the left-hand side, we have the county name, we have the election date, and we have our menu. We tap on that menu, we can go into there. We're going to have some reporting options, so we'll have the summary report, we'll have status reports, we'll have a list of all the voters. We can also add an omitted voter. If somebody was left off the voter rolls for whatever reason, they can still vote. We can add them on the iPad and they'd be treated just like any other voter. We have the ability to do election worker check-ins and check out for the day. So they come in, they can touch that, they can sign in on the iPad, sign their oath on the iPad. That'll also produce reports if you want to use it for payroll later in the week. You'll be able to do that as well. And then we have our tools and settings, which is how we get in the back end of the iPad to load voter rolls after we go to our election and ePulse. So that's our menu. When you first open the iPad, it goes to the Get Started screen. This is where the election judge is going to verify that they have the right location. If you don't have the right location, you don't have to scramble and send somebody out there. They can just simply call in and we can change it to the correct location on the back-end system. Every voter voted on every iPad. So if this iPad got delivered to the wrong location, they can call, we'll change it, and then within a couple of minutes, it's now that location that it needs to be. Are you guys precinct specific or vote centers?
Election day.
Okay, so election day is precinct specific. So another good thing about our system is, because it does have every registered voter in it, At the top is all of our registered voters at that location in alphabetical order by last name. But if we keep scrolling, we'll see where it turns dark gray. That is the rest of the county in alphabetical order as well. And if we tap on that, it's going to tell us they're at the wrong location. And it's going to give us a map of where they need to go, and it's going to give us driving directions from where they're standing to where they need to go. We can hit the print button, and we can print this out, and we can hand this to the voter so they can go to their correct location. We can also hit text location, put in their phone number. Anybody want to put in a phone number? Anybody? Here, go ahead and type it in for me. And what that's going to do is it's going to send them a text message with the link to open up to their favorite. So maybe it's Waze, maybe it's Apple Maps, maybe it's Google Maps. Go ahead and hit OK. Now you're going to get a text message, and then that will route them to their correct location. We can also email them that as well, so we can get them to their correct location to vote. Because if you're precinct specific and they vote at that location, we all know it's not going to count because they're at the wrong location. We do have the ability from that screen, I should have lifted up, to, if the voter insists on it staying at that location, we can hit add voter. And we can add that voter as a provisional voter at that location by clicking that button. All right, so that is our pick list that you saw. If we did a manual lookup, we would see that, or if we scanned a driver's license that matched more than one person, you'll get this pick list. From this pick list, you'll see their name, their address. You'll also see if they're active or on suspense. And I don't know if you guys can see where you're sitting, but the bars are different colors. So no color, just pure white is active. This little yellow means they're on suspense. And then, I don't know if I can find on the screen. If they're maybe absentee or something, they'll be red. If you click on somebody that is a suspense voter, it's going to give you a prompt. And if your poll worker reads the screen, it's going to tell them exactly what to do. In this case, since it's a suspense voter, they're going to need to show a ID with their current address on it. They're going to need to fill out a statement of residence. If they do that, they cast a regular ballot. Because we manually looked them up, it is now asking what type of ID do they use. Do they use an acceptable ID, one of the supporting IDs, or no ID at all? We want to see the list of acceptable IDs. We can tap that. It's going to give us a list that is certified in the state. Same thing with supporting. And then if we have no ID, then we can only process the provisional. If they have an acceptable ID, we'll hit process voter. If they don't and we hit supporting ID, we can process provisionally, or we can process the voter, and when we do that, it's going to tell them to fill out the grid. So they need to fill out the reasonable impediment declaration. That's done on paper, but it is a reminder here for them to do that. Okay? Then at that point, we just check the voter in just like we normally would. We're going to verify the voter's information. We're going to hit accept. The voter's going to sign. If the voter's unable to sign, screw that off. If the voter's unable to sign for whatever reason, we can tap that. It gives a block for the election worker to type in why the voter can't sign. And then they can hit done signing up here. And it's going to give you that little information on a report. Let's go ahead and do the interpreter oath. So the election worker is going to sign up top, the voter is going to read the oath and sign it. Hit continue, and then poll worker will sign and we'll hit submit. Just like before. And if you notice the screen, I can also turn the screen on to where it displays that barcode and stays on the screen until they tap it. So if the printer's out, maybe they ran out of paper or the printer just died for whatever reason, we can leave that on there and you can scan that directly from the controller itself. Or you can write that ballot felon name down. If you have a little sheet of paper, you can write it on it. We checked in a regular voter, suspense voter. Let me see if I can find a there we go. So we got an absentee receipt voter. So if you can see the screen's got it highlighted in red, when we tap it, it's gonna give us a prompt, and it's gonna tell them exactly what to do. So they need to, if they're gonna surrender their, well, this is absentee received, so they're gonna be able to vote provisionally. If not, they're going, if they're an absentee sent, then they can surrender their ballot and fill out the proper paperwork if that's a regular ballot. But if they are an absentee received, they can only do the provisional ballot. We're gonna hit process voter. You'll notice it says provisional envelope must be completed. It's highlighted in red at the top. That's gonna be on every screen, including the screen that the voter sees to sign. That is letting the election worker know they need to fill out that provisional envelope. It must be accompanied with that voter. We're gonna hit done signing. And when we hit submit, even on the receipt, it's gonna tell us that it's a provisional and the provisional envelope must be completed. You notice the barcode didn't print? I can turn that on and off based on if it's provisional. So if your process is the provisional voter fills out a paper ballot, then it won't offer a barcode. Or if they can't scan that barcode for whatever reason, some voting systems won't allow that, we can disable that barcode on the provisional ballot. It can be configured however your voting machine system is set up. We also offer a curbside model. So if a voter just had knee surgery or something and can't come in, we can take this out to the curb. It has a wireless printer that goes along with it. You can put it on your belt and you can check the voter in the same way. And it's going to print. Oops, I hit start over. Going to print to this little receipt, and you would take that and scan it on your voting system. This machine can be used at a desktop as well until a curbside comes in. So basically giving you double the line input. Give you that receipt there that you can keep. So that's basically the system, how it works. Does anybody have any questions or would like to see anything?
Oh, yeah.
Want to come play with one?
No. So I like that it's got, some of the other forms programmed in there, like election workers check-in, timesheets, because I'm sure if you work elections, we try to do it manually, and nobody ever does it correctly to get their hours correctly recorded. So I like that. However, how do we get that report to our auditor and our treasurer?
So there's reports on the backend system that can be printed and exported out.
Okay.
And then if you need a custom report that's not in our system, maybe your auditor needs it in a certain way, then we can do a change request and get the developers to spit that report out.
I mean, so we can print out a 8.5 by 11 or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. What other reports? You mentioned a couple of different things that we've used separate for, like statement of residency and things like that. How many of the forms that we normally have to go through? Because this is always the trouble with new judges is, statement of residency, or they have, these sorts of things. What forms can this replace versus what forms are we still going to need to have a hard copy for?
So right now, as it sits at the current state, the similar name affidavit, the curbside form, and interpreter and assistance. Everything else must be done on paper. We are in the process with the new system where we're having a forms builder built into the system to where you can put your own custom forms in there. That is future development. It's on our roadmap, but right now, and then of course some of those are still going to need a wet signature, like the statement of residence by law is required to be a wet signature. So some of those we won't have to be able to have the voter sign on the screen and just print it. You'll have to have them still sign after it's printed, or just still continue to use the paper one.
So it's similar name affidavit, curbside assistance, voter assistance, what's the fourth one?
Interpreter. And like here, when you do make somebody a provisional and select the reason, it's only selecting the reason and putting it on the envelope so you know that you need that envelope and it needs to be filled out.
Right, that also has to be
So
done,
it's
so
still
it's
makes
signed by both
Correct.
folks. Okay, yeah, you were speaking through a whole lot about how everything was to talk to each other. I think most of you were talking about, early voting. On election day, how do we make sure that we don't have internet connectivity?
So you don't want internet connectivity on election
I
day?
didn't say I don't want it. There are lots of people who do not want to have any internet connectivity on election day.
So then you would just simply not connect it to a Wi-Fi or a Wi-Fi.
Okay. So then how does it do all the cute little talking to let elections know what's wrong?
So it won't. If you run disconnected, it's not gonna be able to talk to the back end. The only thing it's gonna be able to talk to is the iPad next to it.
Okay. I mean, so I'm just trying to think of questions. that people-
Yeah, once you get that iPad back to the elections office, you turn the Wi-Fi back on it,
Then-
then it'll sync everything up.
Okay. So, and I'm assuming that on the check-in, you're like, keep all these thousands of slips of paper, it's great. That's not gonna happen. I mean, it's a great printout to get the ballot printed. I mean, that's nice. But after that, you're gonna lose the piece of paper. So I guess the report would just be the electric download on election night.
Correct. If you're running not connected, when you get back to the office, it'll download all those, and then you'll be able to print your reports, and that's how you're gonna get your information, which you're gonna do anyway. All of our reporting is done from the back-end system.
So how does that work? Just walk us through that process hardware-wise, how that works.
So
End of the night, election day,
if you're not connected end of the night, you take your iPad back to your elections office, you connect it to your Wi-Fi, hit the sync button. When it's done syncing, you go to your computer, your desk, and you print out the reports that you need. And depending on which report, some reports require you to put in a date range. So if you only want, election day, you would just put in election day. If you want the early voting period, you put in that.
How do you know everybody's synced in, that that we didn't forget to sync this computer?
So
What
you
does the
can-
back end show?
You can look on the back end at each individual iPad, and it's gonna tell you the last date and time that it's synced, right? And it's also on the back end, just like we have a green cloud here. If you're running disconnected on election day, that cloud's gonna be red, and it'll be red on our side showing that it's not connected. If it's not connected, obviously we can't see the battery life, we can't see how many check-ins. If it is, we can see all that through the day as it goes on. And then we have the ability to look at the location itself and then even break it down into individual iPads at that location to see their battery life, their check-ins, pull logs from it, that kind of stuff.
so how long have you worked for No Ink?
November 2017 is when I started.
So about 8 years. And so where is No Ink from?
Knowing is headquarters is in St. Louis, Missouri. Yep.
This system, as we see here, that's got an iPad and it's got a little printer. How long, from a hardware standpoint, have you been working with this setup right here?
So this stand is probably about 2 years old, year and a half now. Our previous stand it had a round base, an arm that came up, and it had I call it a sled that was on the iPad. It was almost like a case that the stand would connect to. And the poll worker would have to take that out and assemble all that. We went to this model, and that stand rotated instead of flipping, it rotated. And we went to this model so the poll worker wouldn't have to assemble anything in the morning. They basically pull it out. This is the only thing they have to put on. It just slides it on up there, and then they plug it in, and it's ready to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna wanna see, from case to set up, just what that looks like here a little bit.
Yeah, easily.
How for the little printer and this iPad, from your experience, how long have you been working with this hardware? The question is, how long does it last?
So the iPads will be discontinued at some point by Apple. So you're probably looking at maybe 5 to 6 years. iPad's gonna quit putting updates.
Is it Apple, is that what y'all use for?
Yes, Apple iPad, and only the iPad. So once Apple discontinues it, we're gonna discontinue it, because then you can no longer get security updates. Our application will run on it. Our developers have beta environments where they go into Apple with the new releases, and they run our system to make sure that it's gonna work on the new system. So we do that well in advance before you guys ever see an update on your.
How long has Knowing been using Apple iPads as
Day
part
one.
of this check-in process?
Day one.
How many years?
I think they've been in business now 15 years, 14 years, somewhere around there. I have to double check that.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't used any other tablet, laptop, anything. It's been an iPad from day one.
So that's been their hardware solution, Knowing's hardware solution for check-in is iPad.
Correct.
Never used keypad, never used laptop, it's always used iPad.
Correct. And the reason being is, for one, the security of the iPad. Two, there's no extra peripherals to hook up to it unless you want to print it, right? There's not a signature pad that can be done on here. You don't need an external camera, it has it built in. You don't need a driver's license swipe, because we can read the barcodes off the driver's license.
Yeah, that was another question, the camera, so if it's an iPad, you're using iPad optics for camera and all that.
Right, and we purposely write our code using a product called Swift, which is the Apple native language, so we can take advantage of all the Apple keyboards and functionality that they have built in, that we don't have to program that in. So Apple does a lot of that heavy lifting before, so we can just focus on the program itself.
Okay. And the printer, how long, you guys just got one company? Because we've had tons of trouble with our roll-take printers over the years.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, it's hardware. It's
So
really
this is the standard POS printer. This is the particular model here, it's a Star Electronics. We do have a couple other models, but here in Texas, we usually use this one. This is only the second version that we've had since I've been here. The first one was a little bit bigger, and it was Bluetooth only. They came out with a hardwired version that's square that fits in here, so it's a little bit more compact.
I like the hardware.
Yeah, and then it takes the Bluetooth out as well, so
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about the election judge trying to connect Bluetooth up to it. If it's plugged in, it works. And so these Star printers, you can, if you run out of paper, you can run down to Best Buy, Office Depot, whatever, and grab tape. You don't have to order them from us. It's a standard roll, it's just thermal. Doesn't take anything special.
I like that, yeah, the simplicity, that's all I want to see how it gets set up, because that's setting up the previous voter check-in system was a bit of a bang, it was a bit complex, for our judges, so yeah, it needs simplicity there too, so I want to see from box to operation, just all the steps that goes into
Yeah.
that.
If I just start that, does anybody else got any questions?
How easy is it for our coworkers to change stuff like paper and?
Pretty simple. Look up the thing. There's a button right there. There's no, hard for me to do it backwards. There's no roll or anything.
It just drops in?
You just pull it, tear a little bit off to get any glue off, drop it in, and you're gonna pull that out, close the door, and you're done.
Okay, good, yeah, the last one had a certain roll, and it was a pain in the butt to get it out, and then you had to feed it, and like, that's, okay.
What about line the two pieces
Oh,
up, snap
yeah.
them together, break freeze them on the way, you know?
Yeah. And like I said, it's standard ceramic paper roll that you buy at any office store, and it's a standard thermal paper roll. There's nothing fancy about it. In fact, this last election in November, one of our support guys was out at a county, and the county didn't order enough paper rolls, and he just ran over to Home Depot, or not Home Depot, Office Depot, and bought a case of it, brought it off the shelf and brought it back to him.
Good, good. Okay. Let's see, trying to think of, concerning David, do you have anything that can show us, like, the reports off the iPad, what that looks like?
Yeah, so the recording off the iPad, there's not a whole lot here.
Or just like, what it looks like, for the, like, if you're gonna do a curbside assistance and you're gonna report out that, what that just physically ends up looking like?
Well, the report itself is going to be on the back-end system.
Right.
I need to look at my laptop and log in to do that. But like, if we want to do curbside, let me go there. I'll show you the process. Alright, so when we get to the poll worker confirmation screen, if it's a curbside, there's a little checkbox that says curbside voter. We're gonna tap on that, and it's gonna bring up the screen. It's gonna bring up the oath that they now have to sign. I believe that oath just went into effect this November.
Right.
Basically saying that they swear that they need to be a curbside. Right here it says, was the voter provided transportation? If the voter provided transportation, you would tap that. Is the person providing transportation assistant? If yes, you tap that. If no, then you leave it blank. I'm gonna go ahead and tap yes so you can see the full. Then we hit continue. It's gonna ask the question, did the person provided transportation provide 7 or more during the early voting or election day period? Yes or no? And then it's gonna instruct the poll worker after we leave the screen, because we checked the transportation didn't provide assistance. Now we have to fill out the assistance. So now we're gonna tap that. It's gonna ask, was the person being assisted compensated? Yes, no, or cancel. We're gonna say no. It's gonna give the assistance oath. I'm gonna go ahead and sign that. If the poll worker is the one that's doing the assisting, you would tap assistant and poll worker and it removes the signature. So I'm gonna clear my signature and show you what that looks like. So if the poll worker is the assistant, they don't sign the oath because they signed the oath in the morning when they signed in. So we're gonna sign this. It's gonna ask us for our assistant's name, the assistant's address. And then we're gonna be able to hit continue from that point. And then at that point, you'll see our check boxes are checked, and then the poll worker can sign, and then we hit submit, and it checks them in just like a normal voter. No report's gonna print out here, it's all done in the back end.
Right. No, but I think that's, that would take care of that. Well, it would take more time training, on the hardware for judges, but on election day, I think that simplifies it tremendously, and makes sure the stuff is done.
Yeah, and it won't, like I said, it won't let you continue until they finish
Right.
that step.
It's, yeah, go, no go, if you will. Okay.
And the barcode on the piece of paper is used, then they give it to someone to print their ballot, or does it automatically?
So this, if I was a voter, I would take it over to him if he's running the controller or handing out paper ballots, and he would scan this barcode, and then that would print out on the Verity controller, prints out a little receipt with the 4-digit access code. They take that, and that pulls up their ballot.
And then it's got the name of the ballot style on there as well, correct?
Correct.
So but that's what we're having to do this last election because we didn't have electronic check-in, so we had to manually pick the name of the ballot. So the scanners, the Verity worked pretty well for that. Previously we had to print out a barcode. You scan the barcode, which would automatically print out the correct ballot for them. But the backup is if that scanner don't work for some reason, you have to name the ballot, they can go to the screen and the person working can pick which ballot style. So the scanning is nice because it just, nobody, it actually removes the opportunity for human error. But you've got the backup if the electronics aren't working. And that's for our Verity has been good, so then like for the previous check-in system, when we first got it, I don't know, what was that, 12 years ago or something, was, jetted, but hardware-wise, there's a lot of things that we were looking at replacing it anyway, and then, surprise, we can do it anyway.
So one of the benefits of my system versus the Votech system, as a former Votech customer, I can speak on this. For Votech, you had to build your database for early voting.
Yeah.
And it gave you a jar file that you had to go touch every device and put it on the thumb drive. Once early voting ended, you had to rebuild that election and then load it on your election day iPad. Ours, you build up front, you only touch the iPad once. So you build your election, you touch them before early voting starts, your election day iPads are good to go. They're just sitting there waiting for them to be delivered. And what I actually recommend is if you're small enough county where you're not delivering a week or 2 weeks out, your iPads the last couple of days of early voting, just turn them on and let them see. That way it pulls in all those voters, and then election morning, it doesn't have to do that.
Yeah. Which is gonna be vitally important to keep on all votes.
Yeah. So the minute your last voter votes, 5 minutes later, this is ready for election day.
Yeah. Okay, that's actually huge.
How much does that weigh?
I think it's about 16 pounds with the case. I mean, it's not very heavy. It is a metal stand, but it's still not heavy at all.
What about, are we gonna talk voter registration? Do y'all do that as well, or you?
We
just
do have a voter
check it?
registration system. Currently Travis County is using our older version of it. We have a newer version called Total Vote. I'm on the poll head side and not the voter registration
Okay.
side, so I can't really speak about
So
it.
all we're talking about today is voter check-in.
Correct.
Okay, that's fine.
So does this have an internal battery system where we run if power is lost, like say?
The iPad does, the printer does not.
Okay.
So if you have a backup generator or something that you can take out and run your printer, that's fine. But we don't need the printer to work. We could turn.
Ballot style.
Yeah, you can go into your iPad configuration and it say 2 of your locations are down and create a configuration just for those. That leaves that barcode on the screen so you don't have to print until you get power back.
You can change that stuff at your main hub, right, and push those updates out?
Yep, as long as you're connected, you can push that update out. If you're running connected, you won't be able to do anything. Like disconnected, you won't be able to do anything.
I do like that you can kind of like work at your control and push out those updates as you go or as needed.
Yep.
That's definitely a lot better.
Yeah,
than
if
something
you-
got out.
Let's just say when you're programming your early voting or your OPAC, if you forget to put an early voting sign in, in VoteTech, you gotta start over. With us, you just add that sign in, send that iPad out. It's simple. I mean, there's nothing to rebuild, but everything sends down to the iPad. The only reason why you may have to reload the voter file on our system is if you are missing ballot files.
Okay.
Right?
Which is a difference.
Right. If you did not put those ballot files in the
Which
election,
means what we go
then you'll need to reload the file on the iPad, because what it does is when it builds the election, it takes a snapshot of the ballot files and sends that to the iPad. And that way the iPad is, if you don't have power or internet or anything like that, the iPad can still pick people in on its battery.
And so you could just use a backup battery like you do for your phone or your iPad for those if we had to, for
Yeah.
battery backup.
Yeah, I mean, some counties have bought those UPS batteries. The problem with those is their batteries go dead eventually,
Yeah.
and it becomes a cost.
But I mean, just simplicity, it's an iPad.
Yeah.
And
And if you leave it plugged in the entire time, and you start off at 100%, depending on how heavy a use it is, it should last you the rest of the day,
yeah.
right?
But if, let's say, power goes out, the Verity at least has a backup battery for a little bit, you can just have a brick, a little, to run that. Since everybody's used to running the phone or
Yeah.
iPad off that anyway, that's a simple, easy peasy backup like that. Okay.
So if the power does go out and you're checking people in manually per se, whenever it comes back up, does this have a logger where you print those backup receipts that you can store?
No, well, you can one by one, but it's not gonna automatically allow you to just reprint all of those
But
out.
it does store all the receipts people check in even if the printer's not online? That way you can print them and keep the record?
Good question, I don't know the answer to that. I would have to check.
That's what I say, I think if you rely on little pieces of paper for your record, you ain't gonna have them all, ain't no. So just download it
The iPad's
off of
gonna
it.
keep
That
it.
does it. It's-
So iPad's gonna keep the check-in. If you see here, when we look somebody up, if they already checked in, it's gonna be in green and say voted. But I don't know if the actual reprint of the receipt works if the first one didn't print. So I would have
I think
to.
we're not worried about keeping receipts up.
And I don't see that any way in God's great earth you keep up with little bitty printed pieces of paper.
What a lot of our counties do is they have like a little envelope at the check-in station. They just, when they.
I don't see anywhere in the world you can keep up with all those little pieces of paper.
I was thinking of the restaurant style.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just dab it in.
Then you got to have extra
Unless it's
band-aids
stated down.
for judges to keep their
That's a
hands free.
weapon.
Yeah, I don't know if I want a weapon at all.
Anyway,
That was some of my coworkers that had. All right. So you ready for me to show you how to box it? All right. So plug that brick, I don't need the whole cord, just the brick. So at the end of the night, it would be the same way as in the beginning, there's gonna be reverse steps. We're gonna open up the iPad. The hardest part of this whole process is getting the case open. It has unlock, so it don't just come open. You gotta take and press it. When you open up the case will hold the stylus, cords, any MiFis that you have, and an extra paper roll as well. So basically, you're gonna take the ID tray off, drop it in here. You're gonna unplug the printer. I always just grab the cords, bring it to the front. Drop it
Oh,
in.
you don't even have to, the pad just stays with it.
Yeah, iPad stays with it, and you can just tuck the cords in here, and then close it.
And all that padding is glued in, so we don't gotta worry about it falling out.
Yeah, it's glued in.
Wrong and all that. That's nice.
And then you pull the iPad out, and you can turn it back on, and then plug it up.
Because all of our padding and our other equipment ended up getting kind of tore up over time because it came out, so they were trying to force it back in. Yeah.
Yep, and so really the only setup is to plug that into here, and then that into the electrical, and this is the hardest thing for people to learn, but once you do it, once you know how to do it.
Okay, well, that's way easier for election workers than previously.
It's just a lot less than that, too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, you're just using iPads that people are used to using. We have to get training, obviously, with just working it and all the different options for, you know, checking in on that. We just need to, yeah.
What's the little? What's the
That's for
other?
their curbside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the smaller case is the curbside, it's the same case, it's just a little bit different, because it doesn't have the big stand. It's got a foam in there to hold your cords, your stylus, and your plugs.
Each person can get two of those?
That's what I mean, I think we would, at the minimum, each voting precinct would have that check-in and the curbside check-in. And then for some about, let's say about 5 or 6 of our places, we're gonna need 2 or 3 of those for multiple check-ins, which in that instance, they will need to be connected. Which I'm fine with the interconnectivity, because it's a check-in system, it's not a balance system, it's not a scanner system, it's just, you know, so, and we've had, we're starting to do that with multiple check-in stations, which have to have interconnectivity at one location, so they can, you know, talk to each other, and they can, you know, check in twice. So, that's just something we would need to look at from an election day operation standpoint, connectivity back to hub
Yeah,
here.
because not every one of our locations have Wi-Fi connectivity, so we have to provide some kind of break or something for a lot of these locations.
Now, I
Yeah.
know you said that this will talk to the curbside one. If you had 2 of these, and they were all Wi-Fi, will they still communicate just like they would with?
Yeah, any iPad at the location that's, you know,
Also,
They'll still talk to each other even if it's 2
oh,
of these?
okay.
yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
if you have 3 of these and 1 of those, they're all gonna talk. The only difference is that little number at the top where it said, 1. Right here, where the little people are, and it had a number 1, it'll have, if you had 3 iPads, it'll show 2. If you had 4, it'll show 3.
It indicates what all is connected to.
Yeah, how many iPads it's talking to.
Oh, okay. And then with those, so those would, update for that voting precinct, even without internet connectivity, there's enough communication built in that it'll talk to each other.
Correct. Yeah, we have a proprietary system that talks
So
sideways.
you wouldn't need a Wi-Fi for one single location to have enough communication.
Yeah, okay. So I mean, okay, well, that's a sales point there, with the iPad in there that helps provide that. So having multiple iPads to ease, check-in times for voters, they can talk to each other on site without connecting, okay. But tell me, just again real quick, on election day, early voting, I understand, we've got connectivity so they can get back and talk to Central, but on election day, if we had internet connectivity at each day of election polling location, tell me what information would be and could be sent back and forth between the polling location and central count.
Well, every
that
check-in,
helps operations.
every check-in will be, sent back and forth. So you'll be able to see who voted at those locations. So if a voter shows up at another location, well, you're not countywide.
Right.
But if they did, and you were, and they showed up at another location, you would already know that they voted central too. So with that iPad. You would be able to see the information at the top, like the wait times, if the printer is connected, if they have AC power connected, if the printer is actually turned on, if their Wi-Fi is turned on, you would be able to see all that.
So somebody could have that on their job, for central count every hour, go check each one, just be sure what battery life is, you notice.
Yeah, we also have a little, what we call the election day, dashboard where you can pull up and see, number of votes that are being cast. You can see, like, there's a line graph as well that'll show you spikes in the daytime. It'll show you if there's any iPads that are not connected or any printers not connected on that dashboard as well.
Yeah, that is, it's the connectivity and battery life is the thing that, just trying to, if there's some way we could help our, because just rural county, the one that has a problem is always the furthest one out, and trying to, and one's got the worst cell connection, so,
Right.
if there's a way that somebody could look at, either text them like, hey, your iPad battery's really low, would you check your connection?
We also sell Cradle Points, and that's a Cradle Point that I have here with me. They're a little bit stronger than the little one that you're gonna get from Verizon, the little push style. That's actually an older model. The ones that we sell now are a lot better, on the connection.
That should offer like a.
Yeah, we sell those, and then we'll,
We utilize credit points now at the sheriff's.
yeah. And then you can even go a step further and have some of them that are AT&T, some of them are Verizon, depending on which part of your county gets better service. Or we even offer one that has both of them in there, and if one fails, lays over to the other. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
May I have any other questions? We also have our heart rate on as well.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, no, that's,
I noticed by looking in the book here that you do offer online training for the poll workers and stuff, so they can.
Not online for the poll workers. For your elections office, we do come in and do poll worker training in person. Or we offer train the trainer where we train you to train your poll workers. So whichever option you prefer, we do both. But it's the poll worker training in person. We actually bring your equipment out, set up a training election on them, teaching them from how to unpackage it, to work in it, to pack it up, so then they packing it back up. All around your process.
cool.
Alright.
I'm guessing you guys have training manuals and stuff, so you can refer back to if you.
We do, and we have a help system, so like, if you need to put in a support system, you can email support@knowing.com. Also, in the help system, there is, user manuals that you can download at your disposal as well. And then, it's me and 3 other individuals that cover the state, but we have a huge customer service department. So anybody that picks up the phone, if it's a general iPad, had procedure, they know how to operate it. If it's state specific, they're gonna send you to me or one of my team members that approach the system in Texas.
Have you guys sent us a, estimate on what we're looking at the cost was?
I don't think I've seen one. I can check with Trish. Did you give her the number of locations that you had?
No, I think you guys are getting the hard. It's hard to get us there.
Yeah, Hart.
I don't think we've got a number from you
Okay,
guys.
Hart does all of our sales, so the quote actually comes from them except for the iPad itself.
I think we did.
We do.
So the cases, the stands, the printers will all come from Hart, and then we'll quote you an iPad separate.
Okay.
And that should be notated on our quote as well.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. All right.
Keep you done, that covered.
Here's your way up.
Oh, that whole thing?
What?
Yeah.
Weird.
No.
Like, man, I don't know how to plug my own computer. So this line item does have a sign, which we'll discuss in our action, but I'd like us to talk to our representative that's on Zoom with us right now before we take any action or any further discussion.
You can do it today.
Mr. Sykes? You're muted, sir. How about now?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I'm Simon Sines, I'm your HART representative. I've been working with HART for 11 years now. Before that, I was 14 years at New Oasis in Travis County Elections Divisions. So I too have been working with this quite a while, and I thank you all for allowing me to Zoom in today. We were at a conference this morning, and we just wrapped up that, so appreciate you allowing me to call in this way. What I wanted to discuss was the Verdi 2.7 upgrade and answer any questions that you have regarding that. Currently, we are on Verdi 2.4, which is a older version. I think we started upgrading to 2.7 approximately 3 years ago with intermediate versions as well. And I want to highlight some of the updates that will occur with it soon. Any questions before I get started?
No, sir. Oh,
Well, what version is Hill County on right now?
You are on 2.4.
And, the new latest one is what version?
This will be 2.7.
So, are there just two updates that we didn't get updated on?
There was a 2.5 that was here in Texas. I think the 2.6 really didn't apply to Texas, so those right there. Some of the upgrades that were in between that the 2.5 upgrade didn't necessarily weren't huge enough that you probably needed in your county. But the 2.7 I think is something that is imperative that you consider. The main item on that, the main security feature is that the operating system will change from Windows Embedded 7 to Windows Embedded 10. And that Windows Embedded 7 is not quite, it still works, obviously you're using it, but the Windows 10 Embedded is going to be a major improvement in processing speed. It's going to allow you to have a secure boot off the when you're turning on your workstation, so it's going to be making sure that there's nothing that should not be on the workstation with the software that should be on. That's another improving security. There's going to be a new hash algorithm, so the algorithm that you're currently doing hash testing, that's going to improve. So there's more testing on not only the workstation but the device themselves when you are doing your hash testing. That's more secure as well. And I would like to say quicker as well, but test it. That's
Did
what
the state say that they're going to support the 2.4?
I wouldn't doubt it, it's on Windows 7, yeah, yeah. Okay.
They're in favor.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, you need to do it.
Right.
Okay.
So the workstation will also be some hardware updates, or at least optional updates, I should say. So the workstation will most likely need to be updated. I understand
Yes.
this one here may not have the power to run the new system. I think that's a Z240, I think, maybe Z230. The new workstation will be a Z4, G4, 64 gigs. We've been using that for the past few years, and that seems to work with it. We'll also increase the options we have for printers. I know you are very pretty heavy with your cut dryers and devices. So currently the 2.4 will only support the OT data printer. This will allow you to bring in HP printers as well and product printers those will still maintain the same security features, be any change in that, we'll just have more options to use. I think the brothers of career, Vincent, the new option to be. Another item that would have really helped probably this last election was may not come into play for a while is we've also this will have propositional text wrapping. So rather than one to a long proposition allow you to continue on the next column rather than having to continue on the next page. So it'll allow you to have a special order ballot size wise and get more information to that ballot future election. Those are some of the highlights, and there's more than one so that kind of learn the weeds. But you can also of course, an 8x22 ballot if you do have another large selection, you need that functionality, allow you to do that. It will now support contents where no candidates are found, so you can scroll through contents but not have the option to choose a candidate. So it'll black out that the candidate option, but it'll still be on the ballot if you choose. Those are, I think, the ones that probably most apply to you. There's a lot more going on in the background, security, the cleanup, and some of the functionality of your data build and count. More options on reports, so you're still making the reports you currently have, but allow you to do some custom reports and kind of play around with you more. For some reports that might be specific to that your county needs. And then I think the last thing I want to mention on that is the dashboard on your data build and count workstation. It will be updated and be a refresh of it, so hopefully it'll be a little more intuitive for your county as you are working on both creating the ballot and getting results.
So you say hard workstation update, what are we talking about?
I've got that right here.
That's the one
And
that's
I've got
in
this.
the office stuff.
Oh, okay. Not all the equipment we have.
No.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
Okay.
It would maintain, it would still be the same equipment you have, we would just do a software update on that.
Okay.
That's something that would come on site to you.
And we will be
we would
upgrading
do.
that computer.
Yeah, I think
Because
that's
that's very old.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. Just some of the stuff got to be done. Until we
I've got Miss Christie going to print these off, right?
Okay.
This
Okay.
is from Art in reference to, the first one is just the Verity 2.7 upgrade quote. It includes Windows 10 package upgrade, Verity workstation, monitor, the POW printer, printer extender, upgrade kit, Verity build dimensional overlays and professional services for 2 days at a total of $16,266.60.
For all the updates.
Correct. And then the second quote we have from Art is going to be for new printers. Our printers are reaching their life end. And also the printer cartridges are very difficult to find at this time because they are so old. Art hasn't told us they're not gonna have them anymore, but they told us they're not sure exactly
Okay.
how long per se maybe. Because they are
And they're very expensive.
yeah, and they are one of the more expensive cartridges you can buy. So this is 50 printers and print tray extenders, grand total of $60,725. The outcome, yeah.
Well, you have the.
Don't you have two for?
Two per station.
Yeah, that's 26. I mean, you've got the, what are the 88 or
So
something?
you gotta have one for each of those. There's
Yeah, so there's,
3 printers per station. 3 printers.
I think they did.
no, we used to use the 88 to get the back.
That's fine, I'm happy to answer the questions you have.
Okay, well, so far as like the signing, like we just add this right here, what, would be getting from part of that?
For the, I'm sorry, for which part?
For the public signing?
Yes.
They're
Two separate entities.
So,
Now,
So we do work with Knowing, so we'll be able to take that, barcode that the Knowing printer prints and just do like you did with the current system, scan that barcode and bring up the precinct, the correct precinct ballot on our devices.
from other counties that we've talked to, Knowing and Hard Sync, those two technologies seem to work pretty well together. Any other questions?
We don't push these number printers that does that.
I'm not sure exactly, I know that we had extensive conversations as how we got there with, Ms. Eubank and the rest of us.
Hey, can I Charles said 50? Okay, good.
I didn't make that up.
I mean, I'll give you, I was trying to think, how long ago have we had hard? It didn't seem like we had it that long, but I've been doing this a while too, so. How old are the printers right
I
now?
think the initial purchase, I think, was in July of 2020.
It's only 5 years. But kind of sucks that the printer's already garbage in that time. By no fault of us.
No,
It's a lot of money for our, our company. We just run the crap. For 10 years, keep it going, so.
Well, this was a suggestion by Melissa, it wasn't like you have to do it now, but she was like, listen, this is what the.
Yeah, this is a heads up.
Yeah, this is a heads up, yeah.
the most important is the 2.7.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't have a problem
We
with that.
can,
And I understand about the ink cartridges, that they're goofy and weird, and you can't get them anymore, and. trying to
They're
get-
like $87 a piece.
and we don't, one of the practices that we did this time was the printer got put on the shelf, and we don't know what the state of that ink cartridge was.
Right.
Is it 10% or 90%? We don't know. So this time, we had, when the guys checked, because you can check it.
Yeah.
If that ink, because you don't want a printer going down at
Yeah.
a location, and then your election judge or a poll worker trying to figure out how to fix it, put the ink cartridge in, whatever. We still sent an extra ink cartridge anyway, but we didn't send one out below 90.
Below 90, yep.
We didn't send one out below 90% on the ink cartridge.
Good.
That all to say that if we've got an ink cartridge that was at 50%,
Yeah, you don't wanna chunk it, but.
right,
Yeah.
so you're trying not to be wasteful, but at the same time, you're trying not to inconvenience your poll workers.
And so the idea is that the new hardware printers would be HP, something that's far more
Yeah.
off the shelf.
Yeah. Their
Yeah.
Brother EXW 415 DW. I might have thrown an extra W in there.
And to clarify, the current LP printers will work with the upgrade, and if you want to, slowly bring these other printers in, and as devices start to, maybe you can no longer repair it, or you can no longer find the ink cartridges. I mean, you could start with 10, and, next year, and another 10 the year after, what have you. So that's an option as well. I mean, you could obviously purchase all now, or just stage them into use.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a taxpayer question, that's,
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Well, that's good, I mean, if you got title money, you could buy printers for a central account, or early voting, and then have a different one for, okay.
Yeah, and we've got
I think that's what it was.
Miss Susan here to-
And then 9 for early, for each
You
grade.
really did that, okay.
So that's 49 or 48,
48.
something like that, yeah.
Is that what you meant?
he's pretty
She
good.
got 50, I got 38.
She got that, at least her,
Yeah.
every person. Okay.
I don't have.
Oh, I thought you said.
No, I've gotta get him. We didn't tell him how many poll stations we would need for check-in, check-in poll stations. Sorry, we got that. Chasing around. All right, Any other questions for Art?
That came on the, it's with the Brother printer, that cartridge is something that you get off Office Depot, I guess?
Yes, you can, I mean, it's, the cartridge itself would be off the shelf. It's a
Okay.
printer itself that is, has the security improvements on
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, but, okay.
You would not have to purchase it directly from us.
Well, just that it's longevity, really.
So we don't have to add this.
Exactly. Okay.
All right, sir. Well, I sure appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Just go ahead and log on.
All right, have a good day.
All right, thank you.
So this is something they said we need to do it, and then pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can we
2.7.
make a motion to accept this, or does that go to
It has to
the
go
court?
Well,
Yeah.
it doesn't, it ends up having to go to the court. We recommend to the court.
Yeah.
Our
So my question is, okay, so Hart doesn't have that equipment. This company does, but they don't handle the printers and
I
stuff?
swear that's what you just said, though. Would you get a quote from Hart?
Didn't.
Well, Hart sells their equipment.
Oh, okay.
So they
Hart's a
Hart-
vendor.
Hart's a vendor for this company. So what would end up happening is we would tell them how many we want, and then Hart would end up shipping us all of the equipment. But if we have a tech issue, we have to talk to Melink about it, because it's their problem.
Yeah, we can buy it from the company.
Right.
Hart's got a lot
It's like,
more.
we can go to Walmart and buy a
Texas.
printer and a computer right now, but you can't call Walmart to fix your Dell. So,
It's just a vendor relationship.
correct. So the voter check-ins, we don't have a number for them to give us a quote on.
Did they,
Recommendation.
did they have a lead time of how quickly they can fill orders right now?
Everyone that we've talked to, without telling them exactly what we want, because we don't know, says, no, this will be fine, we'll have it for full time.
And I think they're wanting to.
Oh, yeah. So for check-in, so,
And we're assuming that there's not
Give
any
us a
other.
per unit cost on those at all?
No.
I think we can hold off on the printers, honestly.
I agree.
Y'all bins and bins of, cartridges, yes. That unless y'all just want to get on.
Not for the printers, though.
I think there might be
Yeah,
one
pretty low.
complete bin or whatever, right?
They were pretty low.
We have to buy it before the next month.
yeah.
The
Okay.
printers?
No, we have to buy
Cartridges.
before the next month.
Really? Oh, there's like two bins.
So ours is at 50 printers, is what we're. What's that?
If there's money in the budget, that's one thing, if there's.
Well,
money,
that's
it's
what,
a different
that's one reason Susan's here.
On the poll books are covered by the chapter 19 funds, and we have, $10,790 available that for sure can be used for the poll books. I mean, the chapter 19, it says electronic office equipment, typewriters, fax machines, adding machines, shredders, optical imaging systems, electronic retriever file systems, and then it says it's specifically electronic poll books
Okay.
and copiers.
What is chapter 19?
Those are funds that, we get based on the number of registrations or something.
State money? Federal
It's
money?
state money, and it rolls off every 3 years.
Okay.
Now, I've checked with them to see if any kind of HAVA or any kind of
Yeah.
funds were available when Marshall asked me, and there were not.
Yeah, I'm not aware of any federal monies coming out on that.
Now, there's an election contract fund, which I never could get straight with Aaron. That's just supposed to be the administrative fee we charge the cities and so forth for doing their elections. It's used by the election at the option of the election administrator. It's not budgeted. Currently, there's $28,000 in that account. I don't know if some of that was really for equipment rental. I never could get it straight as to what the breakdown is, but I would say those for sure, whoever that acting election administrator Nicole could use those. Order them, sign off on them, and they're sent.
How much
So,
did you say was in chapter 19?
chapter 19, it varies, but the current available is $10,790. And if we don't use it, we lose it, so, you know, we get some every year. We bought some computers through the years that pays for some travel expenses when we, it's paid for election workers when we've had extended hours, things that weren't required. If it's something required, it doesn't pay for it, pretty much. And then the election machine lease, there's another fund there that there is, that's usually for the maintenance, I don't know which ones in particular. It looked like last year it was all paid out of the election, the regular county election budget, and it wasn't pulled out of
What was
this.
this one called?
It's election machine rental. There's a separate fund, and it's supposed to pay for like the
It's on the contract.
annual maintenance or whatever. The balance in that fund, we have 10,000 budgeted this year, whether that's a good number or not. The current balance is 45,000, so if you say we're gonna need that 10,000, there'd be 35 left, or 45, I don't know what the warranties are, and since the VOTEC is off, I'm sure there's some of that was for annual maintenance for that. I don't know specifically the numbers on how much was for each maintenance.
Or 28,000 is for running elections? What was it, 28,000 from?
Election contract.
It's election contract.
Okay, that we do for like cities and schools or no?
Right, you're supposed to get like the 15, you're allowed to charge 15%, I believe, cost to them for running their election, 10%. But see, something happened to where the state took over all the payments and the expenses on that, and then after that, I never could get a clear thing of what we were charging the
That's a
city
lot of
in
money in there.
comparison. Yes, it never, when Ruth was, it's never been this much. I don't know why it's this much. I never got answers, so.
But it's there?
But it's there. I mean, it doesn't do any good if we don't spend it.
Well, I mean, but that's the whole point is the city or the school contracts with the county for the ease of conducting an election, and so taking that money to buy new hardware, to do the election, that's the way it's supposed to work, so.
Yeah, perfect.
Well, I came up with, at least 60 check-in stations. That would give, no, excuse me, more than, yeah, 60. Well,
How
I
many
can't
do
do it.
we have in Roseville?
50, removed them 3 times.
Yeah,
And I counted them all 3, and it's 50 something, but I'm not exactly sure.
yeah, hard number would be 57, 55, I rounded up to even number 60, that would give, going through each, voting station, 3 minimum on day of election, and then some 4, some 5, depending on volume.
Is that with the other one?
Well, that's, you don't have to break the map down. If you got 60, how many do you want curbside, how many do you want?
Well, you're gonna need 13 curbside.
And
Or
you can
13,
use,
and
did you
then,
say you can use the curbside as a check-in station?
Yeah.
That's not.
and it'd be kind of like a nice, peak management. If, I mean, and we know which 4 polling locations are that you get a peak at, so you might as well have an extra one there anyway.
So you
For-
want Chick-fil-A. Give them the best things to stand there.
For all 5 of those. Because you need the most check-in stations at Lutheran Church, at, Ocala, at, really at Pasco. And then Blunt is really turned into, I feel like White Bluff one isn't near so much because so many people are up there. Or maybe what we got 4, like 5 for Blunt, 5 for, I think I had 5, yeah, for those, yeah.
So even a little one, you think
But
I think
three.
You think three?
Yeah, three of them, it's, I'm counting one of those as the.
Oh, okay, so it's two.
Curbside, yeah, two. Or really, you got one curbside, and you got a backup there, just, worst case. And you might not, need that, if that number of locations, that gives you enough to play with. So I'm hoping that hardware-wise, if it's an iPad, it should have much better longevity to it than having to have a laptop with an operating system with like a Votech system. There's lots of things that go wrong from a hardware standpoint. And I think the iPad is just so internal, it should be much more robust.
So you're looking at 47 regulars and 13 curbside.
Yeah. I think between that, you've got enough to
Figure it out.
Yeah. Because, that's even that, I was kind of adding a few extras for early voting, but you can use early voting ones. So, I would give you, that, it's not too crazy, but it gives you enough extra to cover, my opinion.
How much does the iPad run these days?
Depends on the model. If you got the ones that are internet by themselves, it's gonna be double.
Yeah.
Whereas if they're not, if they're just a Wi-Fi connection, they're a cheaper iPad.
Yeah, it's like way cheaper, so I say we go with the Wi-Fi connection.
I haven't seen no reason to have each one built on Wi-Fi. It's gonna, like I said, double the cost.
Yeah, there's no need for that. Because that's what we had to do with early voting previously with the pucks, and it worked. So,
I think we have the capability to make that.
if we had in the urban area and there was internet everywhere, maybe not, but we're gonna have our own setup anyway, so why pay for that?
So like $1,000 for the iPad and printer, just guesstimating ballpark.
Probably more than that, just because you're paying for the case and the little box and the printer.
And their software.
Yeah, and you're paying for their development and all that, and security and extra stuff in there, so it'll be more than that per unit, not a whole, 2,200, 2,500 piece maybe. I'd be happy with that.
I've already sent an email asking for per unit price.
Yeah.
And, until I can get him a number.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
100,000, it'll have to be bid, and, we're going through
Right.
by board.
So what that puts that. I hope it's not that, I don't think we have the money for that.
$2,000 a piece, it's over $100.
Yeah,
It's pretty, I'm not good at math, but.
yeah, that's what I was wondering. Of course, they're gonna let you buy the software over 5 years, all of that, with the maintenance. Don't forget.
The maintenance fee.
Don't forget that part.
Mafioso has nothing on computer software, guys.
Okay.
He wants to work. Oh, my God.
I will say I have a brother printer at home, and I bought my ink off Amazon. It's,
Yeah. Brother found a way to survive them HP, so.
they're really reliable printers.
I was going to say, it's mostly the availability of the ink cartridges, because if we run into that issue with, which kind of really pisses me off, because it's only 5 years.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And so I think we need to be on hard to, give it a little love.
Okay.
We try to be a good customer, why would you recommend it?
Yeah.
Now you tell us, well, I recommended it wrong.
So as far as this agenda item, we discussed under action on elections. So I could entertain a motion on the 2.7 vote. We'll take that to court. Sounds kind of like we want to hold off on printers for now.
I think we need to investigate, what bid would be, so, if it'd be a lot more, what we need to do from a budget standpoint to,
Well, I think that knowing is more important.
or, oh, yeah. No,
Knowing
priority,
in 2.7.
software,
Yeah.
knowing, and then printer,
We could phase, like he said, we could phase printers in and out. And I think Melissa even said that. She was like, you could
Just buy some,
Buy
and
some.
then add,
So what you do would say, like, buy enough printers to operate early voting, and then limp along, run the printers and cartridges out for day election stuff. That's gonna be those early voting, gonna print half the ballots. And then, then see where we have the cartridges and money wise, and then if we replace all the day elections that we can. Plus, give them a chance to play with the new ones and go, oh my gosh, yeah, that's what we need to do. do you think that'd be an option?
Well, I definitely want to make a motion to,
So,
let's do it.
your motion,
Okay, so you want individual motions for each item?
Do the upgrade for the heart.
one item on the agenda.
Is it?
How much was the upgrade? I figured you wanted
Discussion
I
interaction,
didn't
which
hear
is
the-
proposals. Oh, okay, then I'll make a proposal to proceed with, in this order, software upgrades per Hart Civics recommendation. To pursue, getting a cost estimate or bid, whichever we call it, from Knowing to provide electronic poll books for all early voting and day of election locations. Gives you flexibility on the number. And then third, would be to look at the estimate for the replacement of printers for the Hart system. And that, as a body, we were fine with looking at a phased in, either a delay or phased in of printer purchases.
Have a motion. I have a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
So this was just,
That was just for the two, right? Or that was
That's
for
for
all?
all.
That's all three.
Oh, okay.
so
So,
that way when we do get the invoice from No Ink or whoever does that, we don't have to meet, this body doesn't have to meet again, you can go straight to Commissioner's Court.
That gives you the flexibility, that gives him the flexibility, Commissioner's Court, to the software, that's a yes or no, that's a black and white. The knowing is, I said per, location, it doesn't give you that number, so it gives Commissioner's Court flexibility. And the same thing with the printers, they've got flexibility for budget, whatever needs to be.
so I have not put out the agenda yet for upcoming Commissioners Court. And so I'll be putting the 2.7 on. There's no action to be taken by the Commissioners Court yet because we don't have numbers on the others. So, I will have the 2.7 on this most recent one because I do think it's important to get them as
Yeah.
quickly as possible.
Yeah,
Um,
it needs to be done.
yeah. Okay.
Do you have to do that today?
Yes. Actually, I'm pretty sure Miss Christie wants it done. She's the one who keeps me straight on that.
Good for her.
Yes.
I mean, you can put the other on there just as a discussion. point.
Yeah, we can discuss interaction and just list all three motions and that way. The Commissioners Court gets a heads up instead of.
This is coming.
Knowing how quickly they could get a bid yet to you for price?
No, I just.
Okay.
So of the 83 that we have in all three of those accounts, how much of that can be used towards what we're talking about there?
I don't know, I'm not an expert on these chapter 19 funds, but,
I think the chapter 19 funds are fine. I took a class when I was at conference and I'm pretty well versed on that. No, I'm just kidding. But what you said we could use it for, we can.
does the heart probably counts, but I mean, I'm sure we'll blow the election poll books, those will probably blow the 10,000.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, then,
A couple.
I don't know, the 16, you know, that's gonna be covered by the, contract fund, that election contract fund.
So, I don't know,
The
Marcelle's
16.
not on there,
The 16 will come out of the 28.
I know Marcelle said something about, she had spoken with someone, and even though the deadline for to apply for those grants are gone, she said she had heard that since,
Oh, yeah, they were.
that there was still money
You mean
available.
the Smith or the Gaines? or-
What was that grant? It was, I don't know, Marcelle is well versed in it, but cause she keeps telling me that. We need to see if we can still apply for the grant, that grant.
Like that Hava or what we got before? the-
No, it wasn't a Honda one, it was a new one.
A steady grant?
Yeah,
I
it's a
think
state.
there's like millions left.
And so, right after all of this happened,
Yeah.
the deadline hit. And so no one,
Yeah, I wish I had a state rep who could help you. Maybe you could let us know what that is.
yes,
Just because the deadline passed, it doesn't mean
Oh, yeah,
it's
because she said that there was still, I think it was Melissa that might have mentioned it, that there was still plenty of money in those grant funds.
we can figure it out what's the call, we can get our staff to start digging through and asking
Well, if we
questions.
can get grant money, that'd be great. I mean, we've done this thing this year on encumbering funds. I hate to bring that up here, but there are funds that we didn't spend all our budget last year, so that would be a great thing to pinpoint, to use
Well,
those
if there's an
funds.
additional grant that's
for
state
next
money
year.
we need access to,
Yeah, for
get
sure.
that
Let's-
information and we'll get our work done. Because we qualify for whatever box there is.
You did text her?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. We good?
Good.
All right, number 2, pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.074, personnel matters, the county election commission will convene into executive session to deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee regarding the elections administrator. If you'd like, we can take a real quick break before we go into executive session.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I did, I forgot I had to.
I have a question.
Recording.
This,
All right.
and Chrissy, you may know what this is. This was an invoice for Pitney Bowes. Yes.
Good.
It came to the EA.
We have two Pitney Bowes and one.
Oh,
No worries. You guys don't have to wait for the office, you can wait until we're done.
Tell everyone.
We'll see you, bud.
Okay, so for all of you there in Facebook land, we are now in executive session of the Elections Commission meeting. 3 days before early voting for the November election, Hill County fired the elections administrator for pretty much gross neglect of duties. And Hill County did the entire November election using emergency waivers from the state. So at this point, applications have been submitted for the elections administrator job here in Hill County. And that's the personnel issue that they're discussing. Elections are basically the heart and soul of all local government. Voter registrations need to be handled in a timely manner. Elections need to be secure. They need to be run effectively and efficiently and without any appearance of impropriety. So this is a big deal. This is a big job. And this is something that I'm going to keep following.
Are you heading back to the office?
Yeah.
All right, I'll enjoy your afternoon.
Okay.
I did it on purpose.
Hello. How are you? I'm taking these to receipt. Yeah.
I'm almost finished the session, so.
This is live. Don't disclose any national secrets to the live stream. Doesn't have that many viewers, but. I usually tell people, if you don't want anything disclosed, step away from the camera. If you have really good gossip to spill, lean in closer. Yeah. This is kind of the boring part of the stream, so I'm going to glance just away from the door for a second so y'all can see the Christmas tree. It has pictures of the courthouse on it. Fa la 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 and all that. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled executive session. Hey, you're fine. You're fine. It's not that formal.
There you are. I'll be here bright and early. All right. He just left.
Yeah, I was gonna reply, not ask to go like that.
Yeah, I know they're doing it part-time, but like I said, I don't know if they're doing it, but they're doing it in high school.
One action, action, one action.
And it'd be reviewed.
Oh, really?
So, you could ask them, if you guys could ask them.
Is she in professional chair or something?
And I know they're only hiring for like, 4 months, that's it. No, the other girl's coming back. She's just out on leave. But this one is just strictly part-time. It's Crystal's out. And then once Crystal, she's full-time, she's just out because of need to cover. And then she'll come back. She'll just be there. Are you fine?
for you.
It's cold,
We
so-
sealed it.
It's cold, so I'm not waiting.
Did you just click on that?
3 years.
That's what I'm proud of you. Thank you.
Good, how are you?
Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
I did. Sorry, every time I talk to you, it's bugging me about something I didn't read.
You're absolutely fine. I don't want to make the questions.
You're a lot better at it than the last treasurer I remember. So
Well, thank you.
I couldn't get any questions answered back
Oh,
then.
no.
Yeah.
No answer, not been fucking
I've noticed that. Once after my kids and I, you don't get on that.
Unfortunately, my position can take.
Yeah, you
that.
just can't.
You just can't.
Get too many people all the
Too many
time.
people work overnights, you know, and, you know, it's not just 8 to 5, I mean, it's, what I'm here to do is to serve, so.
I understand. And your salary too, right? So it really doesn't matter. I'm hourly. If somebody calls me, I call me. I'm clocking. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that a long time ago. I did a lot of free work back in the day. It was really good. Yeah, that, I remember the last one I messaged you about, it had so much, the pizza, the way it works, streets. Yeah.
Week to week, yeah, week 1 and week 2 don't talk to each other because you're at 40/40 not salary, so the Department of Labor and Wage and Hour Division has very strict rules on, you know, overtime and week to week not talking to each other and things like that.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
you
no, no,
know,
no.
if it's just 8 hours in 2 weeks, I'm fine.
I don't really doesn't bug me that much, honestly. It's just that I had planned out this
The whole thing.
extravagant vacation idea, and then that happened. But luckily, I think I still ended up having nothing more.
Yeah, we can have to do the overtime too. so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fine. That's great too. But I would hate that every time to just have it to go for those days. But it worked out. It's what it is. Now I know. Now I know.
Same.
Oh, we're encouraging on this place from what I've seen, you know.
Absolutely, everything's always changing.
Are you over in your office? You good?
Good, good, it's been busy. We have 26 applicants, one of jurors, 25 is the day.
Mhm.
So our auditor, we just finished that up. We haven't selected a candidate yet, but we have 9 on the ballot.
Y'all had nothing on it for a while.
We did.
It's just kind of like waiting on applicants for that one, because it's kind of a,
I never be a CPA, you know, you prefer
kind
a
of a demanding
CPA.
position. Yeah, as far as this role goes, I have no idea what to expect. So, I figured because you're doing so much of the work anyway, I'll throw my hat in.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a great job for anybody else.
I feel like just being part of the whole office is probably, you know what I mean?
I think people just need to, you know, put that, not
Keep
carry
in
on.
mind, it's kind of like we're kind of in a situation. What they're thinking for this time, something about the level of, and I understand, and I'll work with that person, no problem.
I just don't think that the two should be, I think one is going to be together.
Yeah.
It's not to be,
4 years ago. And 105. I should do that. It's training farm.
I think it's probably,
Is this, you're the person
I
that.
have it upstairs, and I have it upstairs.
Am I getting a party this year? The Christmas party? That's what I want to know.
So nobody gets them, they're door prizes, so.
Oh, well, no, they give up the 5-year prize or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah, it's not like a great show. We always do like pins, like garden beds.
Oh, nice.
Or backpacks,
Oh,
or
backpacks.
coolers, blanket, like a embroidered blanket, all that. So the gift cards and like the door prizes and stuff, and make it part of our beneficial.
And then we're going to eat.
Yeah, so we already have some good ones upstairs. We've got
Really?
a Yeti figure, we've got a Yeti who's like, I call it, you take duck hunting.
Okay. Well, it's good. When is the third year this year? Oh, it's coming up. 2 weeks. Yeah, that's crazy. It's supposed to be a long time. My wife got laid off this year. Yeah, she's out of here. she was a general manager for Scrooge and Waverly, but their franchise owner bought the building and, you know, he kind of overspent funds. So he let her do it so he could step in and save money, and he's gonna try to run it himself, but she's like, that's gonna burn the ground, like, there's no way. She's been doing it for 5 years, she opened this store here, she opened another one here, and this is her third store. And the guy's like, I'm paying you too much, I can't afford it anymore. Crazy, I know. And then he gets a text message while she's on vacation. No, while she was on vacation. So her first day at PTO, she used her vacation, she got a text message to go in there. Which is crazy. Yeah, it's terrible. Like, we've never been in this situation. She's never been with us before. She's part of it, but we don't really know anything about it, so. I told her to look into it, but I've been on her payment once when I was younger, and she's never been on it, so we just. Yeah, because he can fire her up bad.
Okay, since this is the slow part, I figured I'll bring this up. Get this here. So this executive session is about this incident that you can find on the Lakelanders Facebook page. Hill County officials are working quickly to prepare for early voting after the sudden termination of Elections Administrator Aaron Torres. Both the Hill County Elections Commission and Commissioners Court held emergency meetings this morning, that was October 17th, and voted to terminate Torres, who County Judge Shane Brassel said had abandoned his post this week. Brassel said that the election will move forward properly with county officials and the Texas Secretary of State's office stepping in to ensure everything is ready for early voting on Monday. So yeah, early voting was starting on October 20th and they fired him on the 17th and things had still not been done. The Elections Commission had been questioning Torres about unprocessed voter registrations, which he attributed to issues with the state's system that have been causing delays for elections officials throughout the state. Brassel said that the county was met with resistance when attempting to become more heavily involved in the November election due to questions about preparations. As of yesterday, Torres had reportedly told county employees that he would not be back. Brassel laid out multiple issues that the county is working to address in the elections office, but he expressed confidence that the team of county officials and outside assistants will be ready for the election by Monday. So yeah, he had not done the logic and accuracy tests. In one of the emergency meetings, he was asking the Elections Commission to reschedule the November election. This was a state constitutional amendment election. You can't reschedule those.
We were standing here because we knew you were outside. Sorry.
No, I wouldn't have either. I didn't maybe, huh? No, it's okay. I wouldn't have either. Okay. Y'all have a good day. She made it. She did.
Has pictures, so it has pictures.
Just so you'll know, it can hear you.
It's on.
man to sleep in that thing. Or is it just down there? All the new things. Are you? Appreciate it. I'm going to say for wedding for 15th year. We're going to be getting married here tomorrow for
you're fine. Don't worry. It's not like a professional recording or anything.
back here.
Okay, thank you.
We're gonna head back.
That's like, somebody at Waco did that.
I thought about that, I just didn't know.
It's got grindy orders on it.
Right.
It's like, that's like textbook. You cannot do that.
Well, I guess I could just throw it in there. But then I'm not terrible.
Who?
My chief deputy.
Oh. Hey, I'm ready to go. You are. Thank you, ma'am.
I don't know if they're talking on the phone or.
Alright. Thank you, ma'am. Oh, it doesn't say.
Recording in progress.
Okay, we're back from executive session. The time is 3:38. Any motions pertaining? Would you like to make a motion? You want to adjourn? No.
No, that's the next action. So I make a motion that we, after initial review of applications, to proceed with inviting certain applicants for an interview process to date to be sent by the chair of the commission.
Motion. Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
I also make a motion to adjourn.
Wait, say it.
Okay.